Hey everyone. So today we have Mr. Arjun Rajpal with us. He's one of the finest backend engineers I've ever come across. He's an SD2 at Atlassian and he has 5 years of experience. Previously, he has also worked in Expedia. And more than all of this, he's one of my seniors from DTO. So I couldn't have found a better person for my first podcast. Welcome, Arjun.
Hi, Aaron. Thank you for welcoming me here.
So how's it going? How are you?
I'm good. Things are great. Yeah.
Okay. So, Arjun, like I told you, this is going to be a fun podcast where we are going to have a chat across general stuff about engineering, how engineer as a career is good. Can people actually make money or not? How to get successful in this career? How does success look like in this world where layoff is a lot these days? How can a person trust? So it's just an open-ended conversation that you and me would have, and probably you can share light on us that how people can actually survive in this world with engineering as a career and how can they do really good in this career. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Good. So my first question is, okay, so I'm reading from the side. So my first question is, given the current job market volatility with layoffs being a reality, how can someone ensure a good living in this field of engineering?
I yeah. First of all, it's just great to be here. And thank you, Aaron, once again for inviting me. Yeah. So coming to this question, I think this everyone has been asking since a couple of months ago,
Mhm.
and like having experiences about 2 years back during pandemic, there were companies that were impacted by travel ban, including my previous org. So what I've realized is that this is something that we have to get used to it. This might just happen every once in 3 or 4 years. So the best way to handle it is just by making sure that you're always working towards developing your skills and making them sharper. Just like trying to question yourself, where do you see yourself in next 2 or 3 years? Like what is kind of growth you're looking for? And because I feel that even if it's a bad market, a good developer or a good engineer, if they have the right set of skills, they'll find a new job. Uh, so I know that there are less opportunities right now. Like very few companies are hiring, and the competition is becoming tougher and tougher. But I think as all of us, especially in our country where we have cracked entrances to get where we are, I think we already have the competitive spirit among all of us. So I don't think it's tougher than that. Definitely.
Very well said. I would definitely agree with you. Uh, but what would so engineering as a career option, any fresher, like you mentioned that we have cracked all these competitive exams, those were very tough, right? Why? So one of the reason why people used to come in engineering was that they might get a stable job, a good job, right? Google, Amazon, Atlassian, Uber, all these companies are known names, right? Everyone wants to work with them. They have great culture, they have great pay scale. But now, why would a person where there is layoffs, so many layoffs, right? Why would a person, a fresh graduate, or anyone who would want to prepare for engineering? Because now nothing is stable. 2 years back, pandemic hit. Now layoffs. If this is going to continue, it means there's no stability. What are your opinions about it?
Yeah, I think like so when you talk about the kind of pay that software developers get or people get in IT industry, I think there are risks that come that are associated with it. I think with every like everything is a double-edged sword, and if the pay is good, then obviously there might be some less job security as compared to a line where you might be paid a little less. So yeah, I think now over time, every company is expecting their employees or their developers to work a little harder. So yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's a double-edged sword, right? Everything has its own pros and cons. And if you ever, if you talk to a much more experienced people, maybe 10 years, 15 years, experienced engineers, they'll also say the same thing, that they have seen this thing happening in the past as well. And you just have to like wait and watch for the weather to change again. And it's not going to be this like this forever, right? It's going to change. It's again going to be a employees market, not an employers market. And we just have to wait for the right time and like sort of try, not get too ahead of ourselves. Just keep on doing what you have been doing since now, sharpening your skills, and like trying to pick up better tasks, trying to learn more in your own company, in the current organization that you're working. Yeah, that's it. I don't think you have to think too much. It's the market, like irrespective of which company you are working for. I think everyone is impacted in one way or the other. So it's not like that if you move from one company to the other, it's going to change. So wherever you are, if you think you have the right set of work that you want to do, if you are in the growth path, I think you can just stick to it, and things are going to become much better over time.
And from my experience, what I feel like is there are going to be opportunities all across. Sometimes it could be here, sometimes it could be there. So opportunities is something that people will have to grab, I feel personally, that you have to find the correct set of opportunities for you. There are so many
Yeah.
opportunities out there. Maybe startups opening up,
Yeah, that's
multi,
correct.
yeah.
That's correct. Like you said, Arun. So what I think is that everyone has a different outlook to all of
Mhm.
these things. Maybe somebody would feel that okay, working in a startup would give them what they want. Maybe they want a steeper learning curve, and they think that they'll work in a startup and they'll get that. Somebody is looking for a for an environment where things are sort of more organized, things are structured, the
Mhm.
policies around employee benefits are better. So and they want a brand, so they try to join, or they want to join one of the more established companies. I think yeah, it depends on what you're really looking for. I don't think that like if you join an established company, you can't have a steeper learning curve.
Right,
It depends from team to team. It depends on the kind of work that you're getting for that you're getting. And sometimes even in startups, you might be in a team where things are already where there is already KTLO work going on. So
right,
yeah, it depends. Like a part of it is luck also.
right,
So yeah, so it really depends on what you're looking for, and like which team you're joining, the kind of work they have, the kind of skill set you have, and whether that skill set aligns with the kind of team you're joining. There have been
right.
times where somebody joined a team, they expected something, they got something, and even
Yeah,
though the company was very well known, or uh, yeah, or the kind of work that person had heard that the company did was very well known, but when they joined, they didn't like the work. So it
yeah,
depends from person to person. A person yeah, like let's say you're joining company A, right? And you talk to somebody who has been working that company for 1 year, and they give you good reviews. It's a possibility that when you join, you don't like the company. So
you're right. So, very well said. I agree in every which way. But the thing is, I would love to ask, how has been your journey so far? You have been a successful engineer. You have been here for quite some time. 5 years, I believe, is a good term. And I am thinking that you would stay in this line for quite some time, right? At least uh, till you are till you want to change something that you're working, right? Till you find anything bad. So I would want to know what were some of the significant challenges that you have faced in your journey? How has been your journey? From where did you start?
so if I go back in time a little bit, so I joined as a fresh grad in Expedia,
Mhm.
and like the team had around 7 to 8 engineers, a mix of junior engineers, senior engineers,
Mhm.
and the team mainly had experience with Java,
Okay.
Elasticsearch, Redis tech stack.
Mhm.
So initially, I think the one of the problems that people face and that I faced as well was adjusting to the culture or to the work environment that org had. And
But
yeah,
Expedia, I've heard, is one of the finest cultures across. They offer really good food as well. I've heard that.
yeah. They used to have like back in the day, they used to have free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you plan to stay like till late at night, you'll get dinner also. And they had free shuttle service
Oh, nice.
for people living within Delhi NCR.
Mhm.
They used to like, even if you were working till late at night, if you request for a cab, you'll get a cab to your home. So there were a lot of good perks.
Got it.
It was like, it had a developer friendly environment where like I think that their objective was that if you are really keen on doing something, and if you think that you can spend more time and try it and get it done, we'll support you in whichever way we can. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Even I've seen all that good tech companies where people actually want to work. They offer really good perks. I've heard that Facebook offer laundry service also. I've heard, I'm not sure, but they do offer.
Yeah, so some companies they do they also have like rooms where you can sleep
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sleeping
So
rooms.
yeah, sleeping rooms. They want you to like breathe code as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's just that they're making that environment so convenient for you that even if there's slightest of the issue that you have,
yeah,
fix it there,
yeah.
don't go work here.
It's I think it depends, but like in a lot of companies, I felt that they want like they want you to feel comfortable. They want you to not think that this is just work. This
Mhm.
is like if you are really like keen to develop something, to build something, they want you to support. They want to support you, and like yeah. So and they think that okay, they want you to know that it's not necessary that you work a fixed set of hours, that they only work from 9 to 5. If you want, you can work you can have your own flexible working hours, and
Mhm.
that's up to you. So I think
So
that yeah.
how did Atlassian come across then?
Yeah. So when I was working in Expedia, we used to use Jira for project management, basically to track all the tasks that our team did and the
Mhm.
kind of commitments that we had across teams. So that is
Mhm.
the point in time where I got to know that okay, there's this tool which they have. Then we also use Confluence, their document collaboration tool. So that is the point in time that I heard that okay, there's this company who builds these tools,
Okay.
and and I think 1.5 2 years down the line, like some of my colleagues, friends, they moved to Atlassian, because at that time Atlassian had just started. I think they started back in 2018. And
Mhm.
some of my friends and colleagues had joined around 2019. So they sort of recommended me that okay, there's this company that you must have heard of,
Mhm.
and it has a great work-life balance. They have a great team culture, and I think you would like it here. They are still in their early phase in India, and they are still hiring a lot of developers across products. So why
Okay.
not you give it a try? And that's how I started interviewing for Atlassian, and then I came here.
Got it. Got it. So now, I would like to ask, everyone has their goals, right?
Yeah.
Also, what are your professional goals? And of course, if you would like to share your personal goals as well, what are your goals? Being an engineer, earning good money, supporting your family, taking care of your expenses. So now, what are your goals?
I think when I started pursuing engineering back in college, back in my first or second year of college, the objective was to pursue MS and then work as a developer. And then
Okay.
over the course of time, my own goals changed. They evolved a bit. I realized
Hmm.
that okay, maybe MS is not something I want to do,
Yeah.
and I really like want to build things basically,
Uh-huh.
and it might uh, like it might have MS in the plan, or it might not have. It's not necessary, but the end goal is to build things, to learn, and yeah, to contribute in whichever way I can. And I think that goal has still remained since then.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like even today, like the only thing that drives me every day is that I know that I learn something new, and then I'll fail at something, but eventually I'll figure it out.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's more about that every day there'll be something new to learn about. So yeah, so it's probably that, like and obviously my plan is to remain in the tech line, to
Okay.
remain in the IC line, but that's
Okay.
right now, right? Even the best laid plans go wrong. So
Yeah.
yeah, so my long term goal is to just keep on building things, and maybe let's say that if I get bored with it, I'll find something new. But for
Right.
now, the plan is to yeah, remain in the individual contributor line. So when it comes to personal goals, yeah, I'm very fond of traveling. Like I've traveled since I was like 7 8 years old. I've traveled to
Mm-hmm.
a couple of countries. So my plan is to cover the countries that I've not visited till now,
Yep.
and at least like try visiting one new country or at least two new countries every year. That's my
Oh, wow.
plan. So that just to summarize, basically to have enough funds to travel to at least one country or two countries in a year.
Oh,
And by
that
the
is
time I
pretty good.
turn 60, maybe I've covered all the countries, including North Korea.
Oh, wow. Good. I think most of the engineers have this in their head that they want to travel. And I think engineering as a career is the one where you can work from any place that you like. Like, work from home mode has enabled us that we can work from anywhere in the world, and probably we can travel as well. We've seen during the COVID time, people have gone to Rishikesh, stayed
Yeah.
there in hostels and worked. So I think, yeah, this is pretty good. Okay. So my next question is, so traveling takes huge amount, right,
Yeah.
of expenses.
Yeah.
And one such reason to choose engineering as a career is, of course, to be able to earn money, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, in general, do you think engineers can make good money in corporate sector, in corporate jobs? And could you share your own experience with income growth over your career?
Yeah, so I think as every engineer would tell you, experienced engineer would tell you that okay, yeah, that we all do get paid quite a hefty amount, and so the pay can vary, right? If I break it down, it consists of the base pay, then it has RSUs, it might have RSUs, then it has a
Hmm,
bonus part as well.
right.
And sometimes, like when you join a new company, you might get a relocation bonus as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so yeah, so like if I've seen it till now, what I've seen it till now is that uh, it can vary, right, from company to company. Like some companies, the well established firms, they want you to have more RSUs, so they,
Right.
because they want you to stay long term, and they really believe in the growth of the company. And whereas in a startup, since they're still in their early phase, they might give you a very high base.
Hmm,
but
yeah.
but uh, but mostly, like mostly the companies, they have a sort of a similar CTC. If I talk about, they have a similar compensation for a particular level. It might be a little up and down, but more or less the big ones, even the popular startups also, they'll give you a similar CTC as compared to a established firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain companies which are known for their pay, but other than that, like, yeah, everyone pays around the same. It just depends on what you are looking for, right? If you're looking for a very good base, very heavy base, then yeah, then maybe joining a startup would be the right thing.
Or
Yeah,
a high frequency trading firm as well. They
yeah,
also have
high
a really good pace.
yeah, high frequency, yeah, definitely. So like for example, there is Tower Research, which pays quite
Quant,
a hefty. Yeah,
Quant
yeah,
AI.
yeah. Quant rules also pay a, yeah, quite a
Yeah.
good amount. So yeah, it depends.
Uh,
Yeah.
as far as my experience goes, I've always seen engineers making good amount of money. They might start low, like they might start from service based companies, but eventually they end up making a really good living for them, for their family. Like, I've seen that they would not be dependent on anyone else. They can have a good living, they can have their expenses very well, they can go on trips as well, they can have a nice house. So basically, from my experience as well, engineering as a career, engineering as a job pays you really well. It gives
Yes.
you a good start.
Yes, yes, that's correct. It makes you independent,
Yeah,
and yeah, especially like, let's say if you're in a established firm that provides RSUs, then those RSUs, if
yeah,
the company is really growing, the RSUs will the vested RSUs will also grow, right?
right.
And then over time, once, like, maybe let's say you have been in the industry for 5 6 years or maybe 10 years, and you have been working in companies which provide RSUs, those RSUs would have grown over time. So you can
Yeah,
always liquidate those RSUs and buy something. So that's normally what people do. They
yeah.
don't sell. They keep the RSUs for quite some time, and over the course of year, they try to liquidate it. Maybe in partially or then completely, depends.
So for someone who don't know what RSU is, RSU in layman terms is shares that you get from the company, right?
Yes. So every listed company, whether it's listed in the US stock exchange or Indian stock exchange, they provide you some amount of stock units, either when you join or every increment cycle, that is every fiscal year.
Right.
As part of your compensation, you do get a certain amount of that company stocks,
Right.
and and like any other stock, if the stock, there's a probability that the stock will grow, or it might go down depending on the growth of the company or how company is doing financially. So the objective behind giving you RSUs is that they want you to really believe in the company, what company is trying to do. And when you have a vested interest in the company, the ideology is that you will try to make it better, right? That
Yeah,
because you also have a part of the company with you. So you
yeah,
want the company to grow, you would try to do things that will take the company higher. So
right.
that's the plan.
And as far as I have seen, shares or shareholding in a startup is something that is really crucial when you get it at a certain price. And startups growth is really like steep. If startup is growing, that's when actual wealth is created. That's when actual money is being made, right?
Yes, yes. In startups, there's this concept where they also provide you stock units,
Hmm.
but
ESOPs.
ESOPs,
Yes.
which ESOPs, they provide ESOPs. So those are like, they're not listed anywhere.
Right.
But some companies, what they do is that, so you keep the ESOPs for some time, and over time the company might just buy your ESOPs.
Right.
There's this concept of buyback.
Yeah.
Let's say that the company is trying to gain more funding from external entities, they might buy your ESOPs back. So that is the
Even,
point that is the point in time when you gain some profit there.
you're right. Even I've seen a few seniors of mine who used to work in Flipkart 9 or 10 years back, and they were given ESOPs back then. And right now, when I talk to them, they're like, it's massive wealth, and they're really happy about it. It makes them feel secure. So
Yes.
I believe ESOPs is something, or shares is something that actually makes a difference.
Yes. In some companies, that even if like they don't buy back, let's say the company
Hmm.
eventually, maybe 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, they eventually get listed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the point in time where the risk that you took actually like that risk
Yeah.
actually got converted into a very big opportunity, and
Yeah.
that's the time when you like earned a hefty amount. So
Right.
it's basically whether you join a startup or any established firm, it's like you should see where the company is growing, whether that growth aligns with what you are really looking for, whether you really believe in the product.
Right.
Yeah, that because that is the point in time when you, because you're actually invested, right? Irrespective, you're invested in the company. Maybe through ESOS, maybe through RSUs, you're always invested in the company.
Yeah.
So
What are the skills, first of all, who are critical to your success? Second, my follow-up question on this only, are these skills generally taught in college, or these were something that you took some courses or you eventually learned from your experience? Like, how does this go? Where did you learn these skills from? And which skills uh, are you talking about whenever you talk about, okay, keep on increasing your skills? Like,
So if I talk about myself personally, so like or anybody like I know, so all of us like I come from a computer science background. So
Mhm.
in my college we used to have certain subjects like data structures and algorithms,
Mhm.
object oriented programming, database management systems. So and some course related to artificial intelligence, right? So
Okay.
so we did learn the basics there. Uh, and the fundamentals really matter. So
Mhm.
when you join any company, if you have those basic fundamentals right, you can really grow up on them. So that's what I did, and so this is one part. The second part is when you are cracking any company during placements, you have to go up from there. You have to build on top of that. You have to do a lot of competitive programming. You have to basically do a lot of problem solving, and you have to do some amount of object oriented programming, some amount of designing. That's what we expect you to do.
Right.
So yeah, but the basics always come like from when you are in college, or even if you do some amount of basic fundamentals from any book in
Mhm.
college, that works. But even if you're not from a computer science background, there are a lot of courses on YouTube that you can do. There are certain courses available online. I think there are a lot of courses available online which you
Yeah.
can do. So the point here is that you have to really figure out which course really suits you. And that's what matters, because time is of the essence, right? You might see a lot of courses on YouTube, you might see a lot of courses online as well, but not everyone teaches you the way you really learn. So
Right.
it really depends on what course fits you, really.
Got it. So, like we talked about the skills, I would like to ask about projects also. What sort of projects did you work upon in college? If you, like you talked about projects only, right? AI, ML, web, problem solving, data structures. So what kind of projects did you work upon during college that formed the base and got you interested and hooked into this career? Would you like to share any?
Yeah, sure. So uh, when I was in college, I was really interested in building things in basically web development,
Mm-hmm.
in like writing different functionalities, interacting with databases, because that's something that really intrigued me.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked on building a small online test portal where you would have MCQ based questions. So anyone would try to can curate their own set of questionnaire, provide it to multiple people. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like a proper test platform, to test developers or anyone, basically
Okay.
MCQ based platform. That back in the day, there were a couple of the chatbots were there in the picture. There were a lot
Right.
of hackathons where people would build up chatbots on Telegram.
Mm-hmm.
So that is or basically crypto bots. So that's something that I dived into, like trying to
Okay.
build basic bots to understand how you can interact with bots, how you can interact with their APIs, with their public documentation. That was one thing. Uh, then I had that was a time when I was planning to do MS also. So I authored a couple of research papers with my college professors. So
Okay.
that is the point in time where I actually explored some amount of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, basically. So that really helped me in some ways, because you really get to uh, like learn how to write papers,
Mm-hmm.
like what where can you do some amount of contribution towards research, and how do you even like read research papers, right? Because research
Right.
papers, to be honest, they can be a bit boring.
Right.
And so you really have to keep at it. You have to try to read it every now and then, and understand the what they're actually talking about,
Yeah.
and where is the gap, right? Where is it that you can contribute something?
Right.
So yeah.
Even I remember while I was working in my college, I was
Mm,
working on this project, image captioning. Okay.
yeah.
And there was no, there were one or two research papers already available that used to create captions for images. And I remember I found it so difficult while reading them. And ultimately, I had to hop onto internet, search a lot of things. So reading and understanding from research papers is one such art, I would say. And going forward, Like, Google publishes their research paper. Every big tech company publishes their research paper, and they are the only learning material going forward. Right now, I see there are a lot of courses that are being made. But as you become senior in this career, you would have to do your research or learn from somebody else's research. That's the only way.
Yes, like that's spot on. Like in the sense that even when you are working in a company, even as a professional, there'll be a lot of times where
Right.
you would not know something. You'll Google it. You'll search on Stack Overflow. You'll find some thread or something. You'll try to do a couple of things. You'll fail, but in the meantime, you'll figure out a lot of new things, and that's how you learn. You learn on the fly. I'm a big believer of that. You learn from other people's experiences, and sometimes when you're reading from books, they don't talk about, they sometimes they might not talk about the failures that they saw before they actually came with the solution.
Right.
And that's why, right, when you're developing things, you're always told to test it, because people who before you, they did not test it. They experience failures. They experience like systems failing, and that's why these practices came in, right? So
Yeah.
that's applicable everywhere, even in research. That you'll fail a lot of times, then you'll do more research. You'll try to find things, and then you'll eventually come up with your own interpretation of something.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have pretty much talked about engineering as a career, right? And we
Yeah.
started talking about money also. So I'd like to make things a bit interesting here so that people who are interested in making money actually get an essence of it. So I'd like to ask, you are making money, right? And every engineer does. So how do you manage your finances? And what kind of investments do you do? If you do.
So like all of us, right? We do get take home salary. So the way I see it, that you can divide it into a couple of parts, right? That okay, maybe 20% is something that you need. Let's say if you're living all by yourself, so you have to manage your food expenses, your living expenses. Maybe some hobby you're pursuing, right? So you can divide that your fixed monthly income into a couple of categories. That, for example, 30% for your living expense, and for your hobbies, like 50% that you can invest in a couple of things, maybe in mutual funds or SIPs. You can do that. Then you can also invest in a couple of blue chip stocks, or maybe some growth stocks, and some percentage of that you can put it into FDs, or you can invest in gold. So
Okay.
the way I see it is that instead of like investing, don't put all your eggs in the same basket, right? That's the strategy that everyone should think about. That like not invest everything into a growth stock, because obviously it's very volatile.
Vulnerable.
Yeah. Uh, don't invest everything in mutual funds as well, because eventually mutual fund is also being handled by somebody, right? So you're actually
Right.
putting risk over all your money, and you're counting on somebody to manage your funds, right? So instead of putting all your things in all your money in one specific investment, always diversify.
Right.
That's the point. So that even if one of your investment is failing at that moment, you can still bank upon the rest of the investment. Right? That's the point of diversification. Uh,
So is it that what you're doing?
yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've learned over time.
Okay.
From my family, from my relatives, my friends and colleagues, that the best way is to diversify, and keep on learning, right? Knowing about new trends in the market. Some people like to invest in crypto. That's
Right.
something that you can do. Maybe
Yeah.
invest in a small amount and see whether
Right.
it works for you, because everyone has a different analytical mind. Maybe some people can read the market much better than the rest. So it really depends on how you can interpret the market, right? Some people are very good at maths, and very good at figuring out trends. So try a bit and see what works for you. So
Right.
some people are very good at investing in different stocks and short-term trading. Some
Yeah.
people really go into the industry or a company's what the company is really doing, right? How the company is really growing. So they're basically the company fundamentals, and then they invest large amount long term. So it depends how you look at the market.
Got it. So I personally find real estate really appealing. I am not generally a stock person. And this is what I generally try to do. I try to invest in smaller plots, buy some real estate, and my long-term plan also looks like the same. I am a stock person also, but I have more faith in real estate because generally I feel that even if there's real estate, I can do any sort of earning with that place. Maybe have some sort of a shop over there. It's a it's a cushion that I feel like it's a soft landing. Even if something fails in the market, real estate is something that I have a place. So I
Yeah,
generally prefer real estate over investing in market.
that's true. So when I say that, then so it depends, right? Where you are in your career. So
Mhm.
initially, so whenever you are investing in real estate, you might require you might
Yeah,
require more capital, right? So
right,
so over time, once you have enough capital to maybe invest in any real estate, one should
right,
do that, because you can if you invest in let's say in commercial real
right.
estate, you might generate
That
a
is,
rental,
yeah,
and that's also like something that you're getting every month, right? So
right,
that also helps.
right.
And let's say that you have gathered enough funds. Maybe let's say you have your company RSUs or your stocks in general. You can always liquidate them and invest in a
Place, yeah,
residential estate. Yeah, yeah.
works. What are your views on money and how does it fit into your life priorities?
I think money in my case, yeah, it comes like in let's say in the top five.
Okay.
But after that, I think money is a means, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
the end. I know a lot of
Right,
people say that, but very few actually get it. That
right.
that money is by which you get certain things, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where it ends. I feel that after you have earned a certain amount, I don't think you really get happiness from it. You
Mm-hmm.
get happiness when you achieve something, and when you have learned something, when you have uh, built something of your
Mm-hmm.
own. It could be a product, it could be a company, it could be your own family, right? Or a house for your family. It depends from person to person. But I think that's one part of it. The other part is leaving a legacy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like leaving something behind for people to remember you. um, yeah, I went a bit philosophical here, but yeah, that's how I look at
That,
things. That building something, or leaving a mark, right?
yeah,
That people remember you for.
definitely. If I talk about myself, money is something that I deeply value because ultimately it is something with which you would be able to take care of your family. Even if slightest of illness happens, money is something that will get you treated. If your family is in pain, it is something that will help you get them better. Same thing, even for smallest of the experiences. Let's talk about traveling only. If you don't have money, we might have to, think of doing certain things later on, right? So personally, I feel money is really important. And yeah, like you said, it is not the only thing. It is not the end. Family is something that matters a lot. So yeah, great, great. Thank you so much, Arjun. But before we wrap up, okay, I would like to ask one last thing. You know that we have been working on something that could help students in their engineering career, right? And you have seen our product, you have seen our curriculum. So I'd like to ask, what are your thoughts on the curriculum that Get SD Ready offers? And do you believe that this kind of training can effectively help prepare students to land jobs in top tech companies?
So when I looked at the course that you Arun showed me, it covered a lot of things. Like for example, data structures and algorithm questions, deep diving into both all easy, medium, and hard questions that various companies ask. It also covered the core CS fundamentals like computer networks, object-oriented programming, database management system. It covered web development as well. So I think it's covering all the skill sets that we're looking for in any fresh grad or a junior developer. So I think, yeah, it will cover everything, and it will help anyone who's just getting started, right? Or even if they have some amount of knowledge, they can build on top of that, and they can really sharpen their skills.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Arjun. I think it was a great session. I personally got to know a lot of things. I believe audience would also get to learn a lot of new things. Thank you so much for joining. How was your
Thank you.
experience?
Thank you, Arun, first of all, for inviting me, and thank you everyone for listening to both of us. I hope that you do really well in your career, and that like we have helped in some way or the other to clear your path, to clear some amount of doubts that you had about how software engineering looks as a career.
Cool. Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you.